Hello everybody, it's Sam with you again. Let's continue with the collection of Genius Kids, and for today is Mozart. Who haven't subscribed to my channel, you're very welcome to do that. Let's enjoy reading. Mozart, Genius Kids. In cold night of January 27, 1756, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart arrived in this world, in the city of Salzburg, Austria, to keep his sister Maria Anna company. Their parents, Anna Maria and Leopold, called his sister Nannerl. The children were born used to beautiful sounds. Their father, who was a composer and a violinist, also gave them music lessons. Their father always encouraged his children's musical talents. Nannerl was an excellent pianist, and from the age of 3, little Mozart was already able to play tunes on the harpsichord and the violin. One day during his sister's lessons, he wanted to play the piano, and to his father's surprise, he did it very well, repeating the lesson exactly right. Like other children, he liked horses, birds, and playing outdoors, playing blind man's bluff, shuttlecock, and running around. But for the game to be cool, they always had to have music, even when it was time to put their toys away. Whoever had their hands free had to sing or play the flute. By the age of 6, the boy was already an ace in the piano and the violin. He was also able to improvise songs and read the music sheets perfectly. Mozart loved to play piano duets with Nannerl. The siblings were very admired, and their father, bursting with pride, used to take the children for recitals in the most famous halls in the city. Mozart was very successful, especially due to his great talent and young age. He learned everything very easily, including math. In possession of a good voice, he liked to recite and improvise tunes. He also had a pretty good memory. He only had to listen to a whole piece once to be able to reproduce it with no mistakes. At the age of 7, he took a long trip through Europe with his sister and parents. For 3 years, he got to know several countries, learned even more about music and other languages. Since the trips were very long, Mozart and Nannerl used the time to study. They used a piece of wood that imitated the piano case to practice the notes. Getting to know so many places and people, Mozart also learned to speak 15 languages. Upon coming home from one of those tours, he wrote his first minuet, a musical style that was very popular at the time. The boy did not just create a beautiful piece of music. His skills were greater than those of several talented grown-ups. Kings, queens, and noblemen were stunned by the little artist's performances. In one of those occasions in Vienna, he wore a fancy wig and an elegant outfit gifted by Empress Maria Theresa of Austria, who had been charmed by the boy. Before the age of 10, Mozart had already composed his first symphony, which is a long musical composition to be executed by orchestra, and a few piano and violin sonatas, which he dedicated to noble women. Some time afterward, he created his first opera upon request from an emperor, and at the age of 13, he was decorated by the Pope. Back then, Mozart knew everything about music by heart. Even though he was little, he had already accompanied professional music musicians and was able to create a whole piece in a few minutes, even in very noisy environments. He conducted huge orchestra which executed works authored by him, such as Symphony No. 5, extremely famous to this day. Little Mozart became one of the greatest composers in history, so much so that a lot of people reproduce, record, and execute his works to this day. He is not known for just one musical style. He left us over 600 creations for several instruments, in addition to concerts, sonatas, and several important operas such as Marriage of Figaro and the Magic Flute, one of his favorites. This was the story about childhood of Mozart.